So, welcome back after an extended hiatus. You're here again with me, your host, Parker Breezeblock, Parker Thomas Breezeblock, first of his name, and you are watching the Iridescent. Sorry for the growing infrequency between my episodes. Being gainfully employed has eaten up more of my schedule than I would have anticipated. But you all can probably relate to that because you all work for a living, probably, hopefully, or you suckle on the teat of the state and you can't relate to that, but you can relate to me circa most of the episodes I made before, like the last one. Life as a rank and file employee of the deep state is getting more and more taxing. Between the long hours of adrenochrome harvesting, maintenance of cloning facilities, and, running cover-up campaigns to prevent people from knowing that aliens exist, it's really exhausting. And just this week, I was given the unique privilege, a promotion, if you will, to go undercover with the Boogaloo Boys, and I literally just got off my shift in the wee hours of the morning. We were attempting to incite a race riot in an undisclosed city somewhere in the United States. But I think that might have been the straw that broke the camel's back for me personally. And I've been sending around flyers to my fellow deep state employees, and I think it might be time to organize our voices to unite our power and form a union. That's right. Deep state rank and file employees are unionizing against our lizard folk bosses. You hear that? Hillary Clinton, we're coming for you. We want a piece of that adrenochrome pie. Join me. We're starting a union. It's going to be, our first chapter is here in undisclosed underground lizard person bunker. Join me today at Deep State Unionize at nonsensewebsite.com. As I'm sure you all are desperately looking for some sort of artistic, critical injection into your Philistine empty lives, I've brought back my art segment. And today, this is our art. It is a fall-time wintry gourd, of which there are manifold species. There's a million different types of squash around this time of year that grow on the vine and are harvested and are eaten for their hearty mash that is behind this nice acoustically satisfying exterior. This one is a diminutive form, a demi version of probably the most celebrated of les squash, and that is a pumpkin. Pumpkin is the standard, it is the coat of arms for the season of fall in the United States. It is the harvest banner, fruit, vegetable, fucking fungus, whatever the fuck they are. And you all know them, you carve faces into them, you cram your face full of sugary caffeinated drinks, sprinkled with the flavorings of them, and otherwise just are all about the pumpkin. I myself couldn't bring myself to use the arms that I myself have to bring in a full-sized pumpkin in here for this art segment because I fucking hate fall. Fall can eat ass, as far as I'm concerned. Primarily because now that I live in a place where seasons are actually a thing, fall is objectively the worst. Because it is a trafficker of false hope, and inevitably a harbinger of the demise of good, shiny times, and the herald of an epic in which I turn into Casper the Friendly Ghost, and even my ring light on warm light setting can't make me look anything other than like eggshell white. Fall is where summer goes to die, and winter gets to rear its ugly fucking head. And people get all juiced about, cozy weather and fucking pumpkin spice lattes and discounted tech, or electronics or whatever, and Hallmark movies and bullshit and, excuses to never go outside. I hate that. That's just hermit culture, you know. It's just people who are of antisocial inclinations anyway, just getting their alibi to start to hibernate. You know, at least winter is honest with us. You know, it's straightforward. Yeah, the day is 6 hours long in winter. And it's going to suck. It's going to suck until it stops sucking, but we're not kidding around with that. Fall, you occasionally get this gorgeous day or gorgeous couple of hours before it just, you know, turns into tick-tock, tick-tock, here comes winter. Fuck fall, not only for the symbols that bring all this false joy and shit, but also fuck fall for what it contains. Not the least of which are holidays that are problematic. And I'm talking, of course, about Thanksgiving, and Halloween. Is that a holiday? And Christmas. Christmas is a winter thing. Whatever. My beef is with the holiday season, particularly this year, but that's because 2020 has embittered me against everything that is marketed as nice and wonderful, and in reality is just another marker in a year that went by, spiraling down a shit tube that just, you know, was giving us a swirly for the entire duration. Fun fact about Thanksgiving. Did you know that so little context here. My roommate and I were talking about Black Friday and when we first became conscious of Black Friday. And that led to a conversation of how long has Black Friday even been around? Because I don't personally remember Black Friday as a child. I certainly didn't get excited about it because I didn't have any purchasing power when I was a kid. I didn't buy shit because I didn't have any money. And I think a lot of people are like that. But as soon as I did get some money, of course I knew what Black Friday was. Once I started watching South Park, of course I knew what Black Friday was because they did a hilarious, I think that was Console Wars, a 3-part episode on them. But Black Friday's actually been around since the 30s or something. Yeah, a really long time, almost 100 years. There used to be a universally upheld social contract amongst retailers and department stores where no one would advertise for Christmas sales before Thanksgiving. Way back when. That actually never happened. I mean, we see it now and we think, well, that's kind of weird. It's so early this year. But I mean, fuck, you go to Target right now, the old Target, and they're selling Christmas stuff right now. It's not even November yet. So that social contract has long been blown up. But once upon a time, that was actually collegially enforced amongst the retailers. They held each other accountable. Don't be that guy who's so eager to advertise and start their sale that they shoot their wad before Thanksgiving, because nobody wants that all over the turkey. In 1938, Thanksgiving was always on the last Thursday of November. And you might think, well, isn't it normally on the last Thursday of November? False. It's actually on the fourth Thursday of November, which means it could not necessarily be the very last Thursday of November. And that changed in 1939 when President Franklin Delano Roosevelt gave a presidential proclamation that changed that. And the reason he changed that is because retailers, department stores and stuff were putting pressure on him, lobbying him for an expanded season of Christmas sales. They just wanted more time to sell their shit for Christmas because they make them a lot of money doing that. And you think, well, that's not that much time, you know. That's only maybe a couple extra days a week every couple years, because sometimes the fourth Thursday of November is the last Thursday of November. But when you consider the price that was paid for those marginal extra days to sell, the implications are massive. That's changing a holiday. You know, that's changing a fixed date of a holiday so that these companies, these businesses, can have an opportunity to make an extra buck because of a social norm that they're all still beholden to, which is that it is mega taboo. You're going to hell if you advertise for Christmas before we cut the fucking turkey, right? So what did they do to circumnavigate that dilemma? Instead of any of them breaking rank and being like, you know what, fuck it, God is dead, I'm going to advertise my Christmas shit whenever I want, and just do it before Thanksgiving, the last Thursday of November, they were like, fuck it, we got to change Thanksgiving, man. I can't be that guy. So society, well, American society was shifted forever, led by a presidential proclamation by, an executive who wanted to do him a solid and did him a solid. That met with resistance. Lots of people for years after that continued to celebrate Thanksgiving on the last Thursday. It was only officially that it was changed to the fourth Thursday. They called the fourth Thursday Franksgiving. Yuck, 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 yuck. Gosh, what a fire meme. It would have been so much more civil. I would have just been an absolute warlock of dankness if I could be transported back to the 1930s to dish memes. Because Franksgiving was the best they could give for that. But yeah, people weren't down. But because the date was officially changed, all the department stores and stuff were like, yay, we have 6 more days of sales. And thus, Black Friday was born. Black Friday continues to be the day after Thanksgiving, but, advertising for Christmas, shit, that's unbridled. But I thought that was an interesting thing to reflect upon, because Thanksgiving, and Christmas for that matter, but mainly Thanksgiving, is the holiday where you get the stereotype meeting with, kind of kicking off the holiday season in terms of meeting with extended family and all getting together and, sharing a nice meal and an evening or an afternoon together. And, whether or not you agree with each other, you like each other, you're friends, you're regularly in contact, you hold the same values, let alone politics, you all get together, and because of the accident of your birth and your genes and the blood flowing through your veins, you all have to sit down and eat a fucking bird together. And inevitably, because there's so many different people there, for many of us, big families and shit, you get arguments. You get the stereotype of like, oh, crazy Republican uncle or like crazy liberal aunt, whatever. And heads are butted, and then there's usually some kind of like matriarch or person who handles the MC of the event tries to, no politics at the table, no politics at the table. I know that's a thing in my family anyway. Thanksgiving is a profound, symbolic time for us in terms of like the ritual of the family community. We come together on that day to reconnect for, at least one day a year, on this fairly arbitrary day that's given, extremely arbitrary considering FDR changed the date at one point. It's not like that's the day Jesus was born or something. But it's given all of this very real weight, this super high value, because it's a day we all connect, and that's super important to us. Humans are the social animal of all social animals, and we are the symbol trafficker, and it's a day of immense importance and meaning to us because we all get together and we do our good magic. We have our ritual. We all sit and we eat the same shit, dress in a way that's pretty regular year to year, and all the color schemes are, the same. All the ritual accoutrement of that day is uniform year to year, because that's what Thanksgiving is, right? Like, that is the meaning of Thanksgiving. It's coming together and practicing all that shit. And that's the social value of that day, which has been important to society, having rituals like that since man first crawled out of the fucking cave, right? And yet, in today's market society, we are subjected to the market's wishes above those social gatherings. Free capitalism subordinates that social ritual, right? So something like Thanksgiving gets overshadowed by Christmas marketing, which is the big money-making holiday, and Black Friday sales, Cyber Monday sales. All of that overshadows Thanksgiving, where you eat a little bit, you watch a little bit of football, and then you go on and you just buy a ton of shit. That's been basically 80 years in the making since FDR changed the date of Thanksgiving, precisely so these companies could have sales that last longer. I've been reading this theory book. Does anybody read anymore? I barely do. I can barely fucking read a sentence of this without falling asleep, but it's called The Great Transformation. It's by Carl Polanyi. He's a theorist who talks about he wrote this book in 1944, but he talks about this trend in which we flip the script, where since man crawled out of cave, society has existed and been held together by these series of rituals and customs and interpersonal relationships that we place a lot of meaning and value in. And then we've had markets in some capacity underneath that, Whether it be, I farmed a little bit of extra sorghum or fucking wheat or whatever, and I want to sell it so I can buy fucking beads or a sex toy for my wife or whatever. Or maybe it's just, a barter thing, And just because we're boys, like, I'll give you this fucking pumpkin, you give me this book, And, like, we're not weighing the value of those things against each other. It's just the symbolic transaction, right? So, society, whatever the market looks like, that's how it's been since forever. Carl Polanyi asserts that circa the Industrial Revolution, right, the mid-1800s, and up until today, that trend has reversed. We're now market over everything. Everything's in terms of cost and price and all those econ terms, the supply, demand, yada, yada, yada. And that complicates shit, I was also having another conversation with my roommate. Well, it's kind of the same conversation, but we were talking about Christmas gifts, right? Everybody loves giving Christmas gifts. Some people get off to giving Christmas gifts more than others, right? But because we live in a dollars and cents society, a lot of those exchanges are reduced to weighing relative value of the price of the gifts you're giving or receiving, right? So you're basically getting flexed upon if the gift you're giving somebody is way cheaper than the gift they're getting you, regardless of your relative means, And, that's not always the case. I mean, I would hope that you're in a genuine enough relationship with these people you're giving and getting gifts for and from, that, relative means is something they're aware of. But regardless of whether or not that understanding is in place, that reality is still there. Is that you actually can do a comparative analysis based on price when it comes to the gifts you give versus the gifts you receive. And that can put implicit or explicit stress on people. Some people really like giving gifts, but say our full-time students or starving artists or gig workers can't give their big ballin' fucking hedge fund manager partner something of commensurate monetary value, right? And that complicates the ritual gatherings we have, because something like Christmas, the space it occupies in our lizard animal brain is it's the winter solstice festival in which we exchange tokens of appreciation for each other with each other, right? And that's something that has existed in many forms in societies across the world since forever, right? And we love it. People fucking love Christmas. Even when you grow up and you're not a kid anymore and it goes past the strict greedy materialism of fuck, a new action figure, a new Game Boy. And it turns into I actually enjoy seeing these people. I like getting drunk with them. I like eating stuff. I like exchanging stories and giving each other shit. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy, right? That's a very human thing. We could all be half apes, dressed in hides, dancing around a fire, and it's snowy outside, and we're giving each other, bent sticks and pointy rocks and shiny feathers and fossilized dinosaur shit, and nobody's saying, wait, was that fossilized dinosaur shit on the clearance sale? Damn, You really think of me that way? No, that's just nice of you, right? I could drop it on the ground, you could drop other thing on the ground, and we could pick it up, and it wasn't even for each other. It's like fucking Paleolithic white elephant. And we would enjoy the communal sense of caring for each other via this exchange of gifts, regardless of their relative value. But because of the society we live in now, you know, and I'm not saying we got to burn it all down or this is like irreversible or like tragic or whatever. I'm just merely examining a facet that complicates our season of gratitude and community and gift giving. So, what I'll leave you with is just going into these times, where the human race, the American race, is receding back into our hollows in much of the country as it continues to get colder and darker, and we're blowing coronavirus on our loved ones as we meet, right? And times are more dark and uncertain than they've ever been. This election still looms large. I hope you voted. But the things we can have to be thankful for are genuine relationships we have with people we're blood related to, or ad hoc family units that Corona quarantine has forced us into. Whatever relationships, genuine human relationships you have, highlight the value of them this gift giving season, regardless of what you're able to bring to the table monetarily. Thesis of the episode: it's better to give than it is to receive, I guess, but also just fuck a price tag, dude. Just get your friends fossilized dinosaur shit. Something you don't even have to pay for, okay? Right on. Well, I'll see you guys next week or whenever I can. Hopefully I don't get fired for trying to unionize the deep state laborers. But hopefully I also don't get shot next time I got to go undercover at a Boogaloo Boys rally, So, whatever. Parker Brisebois signing off. You've been watching the Iridescent. Thanks for watching. Peace!